Hello, everybody, beautiful souls out there. Heather Varden here. I am here to help people along the path of healing themselves. And today I want to talk about finding our soul purpose and how we figure out and recognize what it really is. Um, when you've actually really found your soul purpose and you think about it, you will feel this glowing in your heart, like you are drawn to do that. It is just your passion. You'll know when you found it. The question is, how do we even find our soul purpose or know how to get to find it? Because I feel like, well, maybe I just got lucky. It took me forever to figure it out. I went through a lot of stuff through my life of hardship, addictions, in and out of different jobs. And then finally one day I just figured out, I met somebody that discovered what my gifts really were by his comments when I told him different things that happened to me since my childhood, and discovered I was an empath, and that I could see energy and all that stuff. And then voila, after that I took a Reiki class and everything just opened up from there. I had to go through a bunch of different things to unravel different layers to figure out what was I supposed to do with this, but I excelled very quickly. It became very evident that I was a born healer, and that's what I really love to do, is to heal others and teach others how to heal themselves. And it's all about vibrations. The body can heal itself. And so I went on a tangent about that. So let's get back to our soul purpose. So how do you guys go about even starting to recognize what it is? Well, first of all, you've got to peel away those layers of who you really are not to discover who you really are. So what does that mean? That means, are you living on a daily basis and just doing things that you really don't enjoy doing, or putting up with being treated ways you don't like to be treated, or just living up to expectations of others? So really look at that, and then start removing those thoughts. If I wasn't this that my parents thought I should be, what might I be? Maybe it's even your parenting skills. If I wasn't so strict and expected my kids to get straight A's, expected to mold my children and just allow them to be who they are, who would I be? Would I be okay with that? Or do I need to have control? See, it comes down to little questions that you don't even realize. Why do you have to control your children? Why do your children have to represent something that's success in your eyes? Is that fulfilling a void in yourself? Or what you think you should be? Or what society thinks that you should be? So start unraveling that, and we have to start emotionally. I posted a thing on my website with the different emotions and levels of consciousness. And I always tell people to start with that. Start at the very bottom, and when you see it, the first one is shame. The lowest vibration to start with is shame. So if you look back and see, where did my shame come from? If you do have shame, maybe you don't. But a lot of people do carry around shame, and it came from childhood. So if you think about, when was the first time I experienced this feeling? And then there's ways to clear those. And those are different videos I could go through, and I also work with people to do this individually, to raise their vibrations, heal themselves, find their soul purpose. That's what I'm here for, to help everybody. And then when you start unraveling all these things and discover who you really are, when you release these kind of lies, I guess I would call it, which is a negative term, but they are lies of who you really are. If you're pretending to be somebody you really aren't, to fulfill other people's needs, expectations of your wives, sisters, brothers, mothers, fathers, grandparents, are you just trying to fulfill those expectations? Maybe it's time to start focusing on what you really want. And sometimes that's painful. Sometimes you have to have a period of loss. You actually give up things that might affect friendships, relationships, your job. Some people end up leaving their jobs, and it's a transition period. And it's not always an easy one, but the end result is always a beautiful result. It's going from being a caterpillar in cocoon to a butterfly that's flying beautifully through the sky, and the transformation that you see is absolutely beautiful. But the process of being that caterpillar and getting out of that cocoon, that human process, the caterpillars, theirs is easy, right? But in the human form of breaking out of that cocoon, that is difficult. And maybe not everyone will accomplish that in this lifetime. They might have to come back again and reincarnate to once again try and accomplish what they were supposed to experience on our planet. So we are all here for a mission, and not everyone discovers what that mission is when we are here. I can tell I have lived many lifetimes by all the stuff that I had to clear out, all the garbage I had, all the pain I went through, everything I had to experience to become who I am today as a healer. I don't think I'd be a good healer if I hadn't experienced all the pain and tragedy I did. How would I relate to others and be empathic to others if I had lived a nice, easy life? And I know I've gone through a lot in my past that I've had to clear out. I've been through a lot of pain emotionally and physically and mentally and spiritually to release those things. I went through a lot of physical pain when I started becoming a healer. And when I was increasing my vibrations, releasing all those blockages that were stored in my body, all the cellular memory, and the DNA starts to change. Everyone will experience it in a different way. But I feel that the more density there is and the more blockages that there are, the more pain people experience. And some of it could just be the vibrations. Your body hasn't adjusted to the vibrations yet when you start receiving these energies that do help you find your soul purpose and what you were meant to do on this earth. When you start resonating and your vibrations lift, sometimes it's not easy on the body, and it could be experienced physically or emotionally. Sometimes emotionally it's for me, and I just feel crappy and down again and depressed, or things come up that I thought I had cleared, which means that the onion is still being peeled. I have not released all of this. So to continue increasing my vibrations, we have to go further and deeper. And it isn't always fun when you're going through it. But then when you get through it again, everything is even better, and you've become more of who you are and more of your authentic self, more than you even realized you could be. I thought I had gotten to these levels that were amazing with my healing gifts and being able to help others. And I thought, oh, wow, this is great. I don't have anything else to go through. I found it. I'm ready to do all this. But I wasn't yet. I had to go through more stuff. And now that I finally have done this for years now, that's why I'm starting to reach out and make groups and wanting to help others, work with people, because I finally gotten to that place where I'm okay now, that I can do this, I can get through all of this. But I had to go through a lot to get here. And all of you will probably have to go through a lot to get to what your soul purpose is, or in your authentic self. Or some people, their purpose, their soul purpose, they get right away as children, like musicians that have beautiful gifts. And they grow and grow and grow on that. And they were here to share music with the world and the beauty of music. But a lot of times, these creative people with these beautiful musical gifts are also empaths. And they don't know how to adjust and relate to all of the vibrations in the world and the people and the emotions. And that is why these musicians that become famous so quickly, everyone just loves them and looks up to them. But it becomes overwhelming to these musicians with the fame and all the people and all the energy. And some of that energy they feel that's coming off the planet, that could be depression and overwhelming feelings, they equate to being their feelings. And they really are not their feelings. When you're an empath and you haven't learned how to focus on these abilities and how to use them and protect yourself and ground yourself, all these feelings and emotions and the chaos you feel, it feels like it's all your own and it's a doomsday. And I went through it, when I was in my 20s, when I'd go out, and that's when I liked to go to the bars. But everyone that walked by me, I could feel their feelings. But at least I realized at that point that it was other people's feelings. When I was younger, I just felt total chaos. I didn't know what it was, but I did realize I felt other people's feelings. But I just kept drinking and partying to deal with it, and had a lot of anxiety, and I did that for many years. So with these musicians and these creative people, unfortunately, they never even realize or learn what they do have. Like, not only do they have these beautiful musical gifts and creativity, whether it's even artists or Einstein, these inventors, these are all creative people. They're all empaths. Some of them are being labeled as bipolar because their personalities could go extremely up and down, but that also could be attached to the environment and the people they're around. It's just people didn't know how to identify this. So there are tricks about being an empath too. You can reach out to me for any questions. But I hope everyone starts, really start looking at yourself. Who are you? Are you doing what you want to do with your life? Do you want to continue living the way that you're living on a daily basis? Just going through the motions, like on a hamster wheel? Or do you want to start digging into who you really are and what do you want to accomplish when you are here on this earth? And it's never too late, no matter how old you are, 70, 80, whatever it is. All you have to do is discover it and go for it. And it is a work in process. But just discover it. And it's the most beautiful thing once you discover it. And then sharing it within the world, can be difficult because you can have fear of failure and being judged. It takes a lot of strength to step out into who you are and your authentic self and sharing it with others. Like me as a healer, everything I went through when I was younger, the way I acted and the crazy stuff I did as a drinker and everything like that, people probably look at me on Facebook that knew the old me and think, well, how could she be a healer? How could that be possible? Like, not from anything I've seen, So alcohol, drugs, smoking cigarettes, I gave all that stuff up, even caffeine. And that just happened. I didn't even have to work on that. As my vibrations lifted, just my body didn't want it anymore. And I intuitively heard from my guides, this no longer serves you. And everything just fell off as my vibrations lifted. And you'll see that too. As you start letting go of the layers, tuning into the light of the universe, doing the white light stuff that I've mentioned in other videos and filling your body and surrounding it with white light. When you start raising those vibrations, you will start dropping those negative behaviors, negative friendships, relationships, jobs, whatever it may be. As your vibrations lift, they will no longer serve you and you will no longer want them in your life. And you might struggle with it for a while. You might hang on because it's change. And I did that too. And then eventually it will just come to the point where no more. You just can't do it anymore. And you will feel it and you will know it and you will let it go and you will walk away and you will feel good. So I hope you guys all learned something and took something from this video that can help you start healing on any level, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically. Just start with emotions and identifying with your authentic self. And as I said in the beginning of the video, when you find who that is and recognize who that authentic self is and who you are meant to be, you will feel a tremendous glowing in your heart and a big smile. Like when I think about healing people, I want to work on cancer patients. That is my dream and my goal. Unfortunately, I've not found anybody that's willing to let me work on them without going to the medical field first to do all the treatments. And I know that energy healing, I don't want to guarantee anything, but I know intuitively that cancer can be gotten rid of through energy. And I'll make more videos of that in the future. And that is my goal. And hopefully someday I will have the cancer center I want to have people come and stay with me, and I can do energy healing on them and teach them how to do it on themselves. Teach them how to ravel on all their thoughts and all those emotional blockages, release all those blockages, open up all the cells, make them all vibrate correctly, be filled with light. We all have light photons. All of that, the cancer will be gone. It will not be able to function and live in a high vibrational environment. All of it is DNA that was changed, that is blocked. And so our body cannot get rid of it. Same with certain viruses that enter our DNA. They enter the DNA and it temporarily changes the DNA until we are rid of the virus. Same with the cancer. It changes our DNA until we are rid of it. And energy healing, raising those vibrations, releasing those cells of those blockages, the cancer will be released. How will it be released? It will be transmuted through the energy, transmuted and released from the body. Sounds pretty crazy, huh? But it's possible. Anything can be healed. The body can heal itself. The body of light, the energetic body, our divine blueprint, when it is in the existing state that it should be, it should heal itself. So, enough for that today. Start working on that. Find out who your authentic self is. Make any comments, anything you learned from this that might have helped you. And have a great day, and love to all of you.